How do introverted people wish to be socially interacted with? Respect their boundaries. Sometimes they just want to be left alone or to be quiet. Not every introvert is the same. I enjoy being included in things, and sometimes it's hard for me to break into the conversation. So it's always great when someone says, "What were you saying, Silmalinwin?" This helps so much. Sometimes I need a break from a large group, but it doesn't mean I don't enjoy the gathering. Please, 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 don't ask why I'm so quiet, because it's a battle I've struggled with my whole life, and it makes me even more aware of how strange I might seem to others, thus making it even harder for me to talk. Just go PSSSP while kneeling down and rubbing your thumb against your index finger. Most introverts will see the person doing this as safe and approach. If you have a little food, it also helps. With normal conversations, as long as they don't go on for too long or involve too many people, especially people we are unfamiliar with. Don't talk nonstop without a room to breathe and then complain I don't say anything. If you want me to meet new PPL and I come, don't start with saying awkward stuff you know about me and mocking me all the time. In the end, you just wanted to make fun of me. I don't know new person at all, and in their eyes I am a mongrel, so I will never want to talk to them after. And I won't come next time, nor the time after and after. The same as extroverts. Difference is that we need breaks after to recharge. That's really the biggest and most important difference. Honestly, I just want to be left alone when I want to be left alone. If I say I don't want to go out, don't continue to pester me and make me feel bad about it. Also, just because I don't want to do something tonight doesn't mean I won't want to do things ever. Sometimes my friends will make plans on a day that I would like to go out and be around people, but they don't invite me because they think I will just say no. Social battery is real, ladies and gents. Sometimes it needs to be recharged by being alone. Sometimes it's full. Only issue is sometimes folks feel entitled for some reason, like someone approaches a person, and if the person's sociability isn't up to par, that person's gonna get shit for it, if that makes sense. Like getting badmouthed or a dirty look or pushed around. All the comments about getting approached respectfully and chill are on the right track. Like recognize it's not really bad if someone can't engage at the moment. Everybody is different. Ask them. In-depth conversation, not just some bantering. If we're in a group conversation, give us the time and space to talk back, interact. It's not hard to recognize who is introverted and such, so make us a part of the conversation. Not being forcefully and quickly shoved into uncomfortable situations by other. I'll tell you what I hate, you're being so quiet. It's such a dickhead thing to say. You see that I'm not participating in the conversation, but instead of asking me my thoughts or something, you just call me out for being socially awkward. Meaningfully or not at all, which is to say, skip the small talk. I would rather talk about nothing than comment on the weather, and on the other hand, I would rather talk about something meaningful and engaging than nothing. 1. From a respectful distance. The worst thing people can do is get too far into my personal space. That's an immediate nope out of the interaction if I can. Although it depends on the company. It's mostly okay if it's someone we know well. 2. For as long as we can handle. Everyone is different, but long interactions can be exhausting. 3. Very important, at least to me. No yelling, strong arguments, conflict in the presence. It can be catastrophically frustrating, to the point of noping out of any form of interaction in the future. 4. Oh, and another one. Don't be insulted if we talk only to one person in the big group. It's hard to be involved with everyone at the same time. Don't invite us to a group setting without telling us it's a group setting. I have a friend that constantly invites me to do things. I have no issue with that as I'm comfortable around her. However, she has started inviting me to hang out with her without the prior knowledge of the other 6 people there. May just be me, but just because I'll hang out with you, doesn't mean I'll hang out with you in a group. Kind of an extroverted introvert, so not sure if my experience will be the same as everyone else's, but I don't really struggle with socialization. It's more that spending time with people is draining in a way. I feel like I'm subconsciously paying attention to my posture or how I hold myself or a million other things, and it just sucks the life out of me, and I end up needing time to myself to let all those muscles relax and have my battery recharge. So I guess what I'd say is pay attention to when introverts need some of that alone time because you people exhaust me. Don't force us into a position where we have to be social. If we like you, talk to us, but if it's just us doing something, don't try to rope others into the plans without asking us first and getting approval. That just makes socializing harder for us and can be really uncomfy. People are different, so if you know an introvert, ask them what works. That's the best bet for meeting their needs and your own. I understand why people might tire of extending repeated invitations to someone who rarely accepts, but try to remember that your introverted friends aren't staying home because they dislike you, but because it is calm and peaceful and they don't have to fight any noise in their head or anxiety about others to stay present in a social moment. That doesn't mean socializing is always negative, just that it takes more energy. So invite again if you can manage it. Or, even ask, would you like me to ask again the next time we do X? That particular activity or outing might not be for them, or maybe it just isn't for now. They will probably be happy to clarify which if you ask gently. I can't stress enough that your introverted friends appreciate being remembered, even if they can't always make it out. And while I don't really recommend pressuring or guilting anyone, I do think it is okay to express that you miss them and look forward to hanging out when it's a good time for them. Just keep it positive. I like and enjoy you and would love to hang out at a time when you feel up to it, versus critical, you never spend time with me. One last note. Make sure you aren't just inviting to large gatherings or hectic events. Sometimes people really enjoy one-on-one or small groups a lot more. This isn't the case for me, but some people might prefer the inverse, bustling activities where they won't be put on the spot as the center of attention. Obviously, don't change all of your activities for the most difficult person. But if an introvert is important to you, this kind of consideration will help you stay connected in a way that feels more natural to them. Have a genuine conversation. Polite small talk is taxing and pointless, and I can always tell when people approach me as a way of doing me a favor, or out of pity BC they think I'm lonely. The latter upsets me the most. People tend to talk to you like an awkward child. Being quiet doesn't always mean shy. There's no need to force someone of their shell. Take social Ks. If the conversation is draining me or I want to leave, I let people know, subtly as to not hurt their feelings, but I notice they either don't care or don't pick up on it. I once had a friend stay an extra 2 hours at my house even though I made it clear I was tired. She has not been back to my house since. Just be respectful and understanding of how they deal with social situations. Invite me to things. Even if I might say no, invite me if you want me there. Make me feel like I am wanted. It sucks being caught in the cycle of being scared to be in group settings but not getting invited and feeling like nobody likes me or wants to be around me. Part of that is anxiety. But I want to feel wanted. Edit. I didn't come here for a debate. I'm no longer responding to comments. The prompt was asking introverts how we want to be socially interacted with. If you are here to tell an introvert that their thing doesn't work for you, you are just poking people back into their shells and you are part of the problem. Perhaps re-evaluate your friendships if it is so hard to be sympathetic or accommodating to a friend who is nervous or uncomfortable with certain types of group settings. Sometimes we just don't have the energy for buzzy, non-stop socializing. But we do enjoy social interactions. Just with a few people with whom we can have deep, engaging conversations. As others have said, small talk and pointless chatter can be grating and draining. Talking for the sake of talking is the bane of many an introvert's existence. Treat me like you would respectfully treat other people depending on the social cues I'm giving. Remember that, introvert, just means I recharge by spending time alone. An introvert can also be any combination of these things, but introvert doesn't automatically mean antisocial, quiet, anxious, loner, lacking confidence, etc. You might not even recognize someone as an introvert unless you know them well. I'm an introvert and close friends know I need time to recharge. But when I'm fully charged and go out, I enjoy my time, am chatty, social and energized. An acquaintance probably wouldn't even think I was an introvert. No surprise interactions involving strangers, in plain view of strangers. Proposals, etc. Outside of a few close friends and family members, I have no need for social interaction. I'm quite happy alone. When it comes to hanging out with introverts, quality over quantity. Keep it meaningful and do your best to get a good idea of that person's specific social tolerance, needs. Like normal people? I mean, they are basically normal people. Just need time to themselves from time to time. Treat me like normal. I just get full of social interactions, and need some quiet, or even better, someplace outdoors with lots of trees, to process the social interactions. Usually, I'm pretty worn out by Friday, but I will still go out, I just may not stay out all night. I am by default introverted. I enjoy private time at home. If I am invited somewhere or people come over, I become very extroverted. I love hanging out, I just don't have the ability to make it happen. I love social interaction and hanging out, but it drains me of energy. Oftentimes, I wish I could just enjoy their presence in silence on a dime. I don't often do it because it is rude, but with people I know well and who understand it, I'll almost switch to one-word and close-ended replies when I feel I'm running out of energy. What I've gained from this is 1. Approach the introvert. Texting is sometimes preferred. 2. Ask them _politely _ to come join, and never leave out details such as a new friend. If they refuse, respect that. Try again another day. 3. Never get physical unless you're told they're comfortable with it. 4. Small talk is draining. 5. They will likely be there for only a few hours, so expect them to leave in the middle of a long day. 6. Plan in advance. This one should be done anyway, but some of you don't know anything about being social. At least a day for a few-hour trip and at least several for a full day one. Don't plan too much too fast, as introverts are not the only ones with a social battery. 7. Remember, they're still human, they're just likely not as extroverted as you. They still want social interaction, but don't want you to be draining. 8. Remember, everyone is different. Some introverts prefer approaching you about plans, or some maniac might prefer a phone call. Always understand that this may not work for them. Always understand that in a friendship, you need to put in the effort to understand and adapt to your friends. Have fun, my extroverted and introverted acquaintances. Edit. It has come to my attention that a lot of people do not have good friendships, and would leave each other over a few no's. To everyone who thinks that's how it's supposed to go, it's not. Friends are supposed to want to hang out with you, but they need their space. Confront them if they say, no, a lot, as in double digits, before they say, yes, to anything. Don't just cut them out of your plans and/or life. I hope your friendships do great, my acquaintances. In a more intimate setting away from large groups for sure. It's easier to talk freely and pay attention when the convo is just one-on-one. No small talk please. I'd rather we be silent for a while than do small talk. That doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you. I simply can't stand superficial conversations. Instead of spending half an hour talking about what your neighbor's daughter's friend's dog did, get to the point. I don't have the kind of energy to pretend to be interested for that long. I'm an introvert. It's not like we're some totally different species. You can interact with people normally. Introverts just need time alone to recharge after a lot of socializing. Extroverts get energy from it. Stuff like don't make small talk, or text me instead of calling, are just personal preferences. You can 100% find extroverts that hate small talk or that want to be texted. I fucking love small talk. To me, it's how you can build a connection with someone so that you can have the big conversations. Text me instead of calling though, but I think that's just because I'm a millennial. Understand that they desire and require social interaction as much as anyone else does, but that it is taxing and on them, and that they just as much need to be alone with their thoughts. Like a normal person, being introverted does not mean you're socially awkward. I'm only an introvert cause I'm used to being surrounded by self-centered arrogant assholes. If you are willing to listen to me as much as I listen to you, then I won't seem like an introvert anymore. We are not against social interaction. It's just that sometimes our thoughts are really more interesting for us than your chatter. Through careful planning, I'd say source. I am one. Like anyone else, you interact with what the fuck you expect us to want you to cater to us, LMAO. I was more introverted when I was younger. As I got older, I always try and bridge the gap between introverts and extroverts. And I love when people do the same. The best thing is when I can complete My thought with someone cutting me off or hijacking the convo. Another is directing the convo to something that the introvert knows. I can talk a mile a minute about VGM. Then if I feel I have talked a lot, I look towards the quiet person and say, "Oh man, I talked a lot, how about you underscore underscore. Lastly, please listen. I can tell if you're just waiting to talk." Depends on the person. Some introverts can be pretty social with friends they are close with. In large group setting with strangers tend to be very draining for us, however. Like with any other person, approach them respectfully, mindfully how you normally would, and read the situation. For example, if an introvert wants to not go out or stay at home, for example, this means that they are not available now, but don't interpret as they never want to do anything ever. Just understand that as an extroverted person, social interactions charge your batteries. For us, it drains them. A period of solitude recharges them. Being introverted does not mean antisocial or socially awkward or anything like that. Many introverted people can be mistaken for extroverts. We are often looking inward, so people will make wrong assumptions about us. Nothing with the word surprise in it. Send me a text message. I will see when I've time. Stop talking so loudly, FFS. It's okay to not talk. Just sitting there sharing time is valuable. Presuming we know each other, of course. If we talk, it shouldn't be small talk. I'm not shy. I'm not awkward. I just hate wasting energy on things that don't matter. So I don't care about the small chit-chat that are icebreakers. Also, check the pacing. If you've talked about 3 different things in the past 5 minutes, you're not engaged at my level. Neither level is wrong, but it's about finding middle ground. Usually when somebody does this, I feel they just want to either get something off their chest or they like hearing themselves talk, so I just let them, but now I'm not in the conversation and I disengage. I have one friend that I actually enjoy talking to at length, and I've noticed how she communicates with me. We actually talk about life. Real stuff. Good, bad, and ugly. Not everything is deep. While I just said we talk about meaningful stuff, we also have light conversations about, well, food mostly. But non-deep topics that can change and lighten the mood and help in transitions. She frequently asks what I think of something she talks about, and if I'm taking about something, she'll say what she thinks about it. You know, like a conversation. I don't feel like I'm wasting my breath when I speak. This is important because it's using up my energy to hold the conversation, so I need it to be worthwhile. We have times of pause, either on topic to think about what we are talking about or between topics, not just pushing to talk more for talking's sake. This is critical. Even then, with me liking talking with her, I can't do it every day. I need to recharge afterwards. I need space and alone time, or at least a time where I'm not engaging in more interactions. I'm kinda a mismatch of introvert that seems like an extrovert with huge social anxiety around new people. Just try not to seem too intimidating or talk calmly and I'll be alright. Once you get to know me, though, I'm loud and crazy when I know I'm safe with friends. Please don't talk over us when we finally contribute something to the conversation. We don't. Joke aside. Respect our boundaries and don't be afraid to invite us left and right. Even if we don't want to go, we really do appreciate your offer. It shows you like us enough to wish for our presences. Also, if things are becoming really awkward, we will greatly appreciate any form of rescue that you could think of. And lastly, give us some time. Once you get to know us, we are pretty decent people that can be pretty batshit crazy as long as the occasion is favorable. We like to be approached rather than doing the approaching. We don't like a lot of stimulation. We can sit with you in a room and be completely content not interacting. Thanks for watching. See you later.